Gonna get right into it, man. This is more creepy. Probably the most creepiest video creepy compilation I have made. Let's go ahead and watch it, man. Skip all
Hey
that.
guys, I was just cleaning the bathroom shower there. Came into the laundry room here to put clothes back in the dryer, and I heard something in here. I don't know if it was coming from in here, but it sounded like this moving.
What is all that music though?
Hello?
Hello?
I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was out here. Hello? I hate being down here by myself, guys, even cleaning. I don't think it came from Jaden's room because I didn't hear anything. Oh my god! Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, guys. Oh, Jamie!
We need to talk about this photo. This photo was discovered by a single mother who recently bought a new phone. She came home, placed her phone on the table, and started watching TV. But soon after that, her son found the phone and asked to play with it. She agreed, thinking nothing unusual was gonna happen. But around 11 p.m. that same night, the mother decided it was time to go to bed. Strangely though, she found her son already in bed, which was very unusual for him. Normally, he'd want to stay up a lot longer. That's when she noticed her new phone was still in her son's hands. So she took it from him and unlocked the phone. At first, only seeing some minor changes. He changed the background on her phone and took a few pictures around the house, nothing too alarming. But since the photos seemed random, she started deleting them. Until she saw something that shocked her. This was the last photo on her camera roll, showing her son sleeping, but the photo was taken by someone else above him. Follow for more stories.
Shake my hand in character. Oh, you want to shake my hand? Don't touch it! Shake my hand in character.
Shake, shake, shake!
Shake my hand in character.
Oh, I like these fingers. Might have to eat them for dinner.
Shake my hand in character.
Welcome to the show.
Shake my hand in character.
I love your hair. Can I have some?
Shake my hand in character.
Do you guys remember the Ronald McDonald statues on the benches back in the day?
Yeah.
You know the story why they took it up?
Yeah.
There was a case one time where there was two guys late at night, 2, 3 in the morning, sitting down eating McDonald's on the bench, and they were super tired. And one of them wanted to go throw the trash away, and then the other friend that stayed on the bench and sat on Ronald McDonald's lap, and he said, "Man, I'm so tired." And Ronald McDonald like responded to him and said, "Yeah, so am I." And this dude died. He had a heart attack.
Yeah, that's scary, bro. I got chills and my eyes are watering.
That shit.
Story time about when I could have been trafficked while I do my hair. Unfortunately, this is very common here in South Texas, but I have yet to see anyone talk about this tactic. One morning, I decided to go to the gym like really early, and when I was on my way home, I was passing this store that I had to stop at regardless. So as I was entering the parking, I noticed this van, not even like a creepy van, just like a normal old early 2000s mom van, right? And there was a man in the driver's seat, and what I noticed, the reason it got my attention is there was a woman who was putting the back seats down, and I just thought like, oh, it's probably for like groceries or something, whatever. So then once I park, I go into the store, I grab a cart, and I immediately notice this man who also has a cart and it's empty. That man proceeds to pop up in the same aisle as me twice, and the second time that he does, he asks me, "Do you work here?" Again, I'm on my way home from the gym, so I'm wearing full gym attire. I'm sweaty. Seriously, bad feeling. I didn't say anything. I literally just looked at his face and walked away. At this point, I just go to pay for my stuff, and the cashier actually asks me if I'm okay, and she tells me that she noticed that that man was like kind of following me around and stuff, because take in mind, it's a small store. I tell her and the man standing behind me in line who was listening as well about that weird question he asked me, and as I'm about to pay, I realize that I forgot my wallet in the car. The man behind me in line offers to walk me to my car and get it, and I was like, no, y'all can see my car from the window, just keep an eye out, right? As I'm walking to my car, there's a homeless woman in the parking lot, and she starts limping her way towards me, and she says, hey, like, do you have spare change? I'm really hungry, I want to grab a bite to eat. And I immediately notice her jacket. It was the same woman who was putting the seats down in the back of that van. Go to part 2. If you're seeing this, it's already up.
Let's talk about skinwalkers. They are said to be powerful witches and medicine men. They can even change their form to any animal they desire, including humans. But they mainly change into deer, wolves, and coyote. You know, dragon fruit ain't that good. The scary part is they say if you see one, they can steal your face and even your last scream for help. You might think this is like a folklore or a tale. People actually believe these are real. The scary part is there's actual videos of people seeing oddly walking humans screaming help in the middle of nowhere. See, they say skinwalkers pretend to be humans in distress, and if they're calling out for help, they're just trying to lure you in.
Ashley.
That's when they take your life and use your voice and your look to catch their next gullible victim. A man's wife wasn't even home, but yet somebody was calling him to come downstairs in his wife's voice.
Bro, why is this shit giving the chills, bro? Like, come on, bro. That's weird. This is weird. Nah, this ain't real, bro.
If you want me to go out in the middle of the field, at least shapeshift into like Rihanna or Beyonce. I'm making a mess, but this look good. I'll be there in a minute. 30 seconds flat. Naked. Very naked. Maybe even Lizzo. Let's light this candle. Let's talk about Jeff the Killer. By the way, this is a creepypasta. He was a 13-year-old boy who had just moved to a new town with his mother and father. Okay. And he was already being bullied a lot in horrible ways that I can't even say on this video. One day at a party, the bullying got a little too out of hand. They disfigured him, lighting him on fire and throwing bleach on his face. He woke up in the hospital with his head wrapped in bandages. His eyelids were burnt off. When he took off the bandages, he noticed his face was all leathery and pale. He started laughing uncontrollably, and doctors just played it off as, oh, maybe it's the medicine we gave him, making him a little loopy. He started saying he loved his new face, and he eventually carved a permanent smile in his mouth because mentally he was broken. He was no longer that nice little 13-year-old boy. That's when he decided to get revenge on the bullies, taking them out one by one.
Is this a true story or he just making up some stuff?
This watermelon's good. He even took his family's life. What did they do, bro? What did they do? Now it's stated that he comes after anyone who stays up late. This was the last photo someone took of him before he got them. This picture is supposedly cursed.
Oops. It's story time. Take a seat. We never win because you are fat. I was playing in front of the mirror one day when it happened. Now I'm not safe. Everything had been perfect until I stepped foot into my bathroom. Fresh off an aced exam with a celebratory burger combo from my mother, I only went in there for a moment, but it felt like forever. While washing my hands, I entered an awkward dance after glancing at my reflection. I twitched left, then shuffled right, then spun around and began to laugh. But wondering if I could trick my reflection, I thought for a moment about a unique move. One that was hard for even a reflection to even copy. It involved a series of stutter steps from my left to my right, followed by a sudden spin, and then concluding with a fake fall before sticking out my right foot and stopping my tumble. After a minute or two, I gave it a try. Step left, step right, left juke, spin with flawless precision. But when I began the spin move, I was clumsy and fell. My reflection was so focused on following my movements, it continued my weird motions by mistake. Not to mention, my descent was a painful one. My eyebrow caught the edge of the marble counter, splitting me open pretty good.
He's just saying anything.
Now I was bleeding. I shot up off the ground, holding my injury in pain. When I noticed, my reflection was still doing the weird motions I started before I fell. It hadn't noticed my mistake yet, but I noticed his. I stood there stunned as my reflection slowly came to realize what had just happened. No longer following my movements, it slowly stood up straight with a wide smile. Oops, he said.
You could tell he don't even believe in his story. Look at him.
I ran out a bloody mess, too shocked to even explain to my mother what had just happened. But the scariest part was after that day, I had no reflection anymore, like it didn't want to follow me. It wasn't at school, it wasn't in gas station restrooms, not even the reflection in my smartphone was there. But I would come home and look into my bathroom mirror. He'd be there, sometimes sitting on the couch, staring eerily. Other times he'd be playing the game, even though I wasn't. Other times he'd press up against the glass at night and laugh maniacally as I slept. But I'm writing this now because he's been missing for 2 weeks, and I'm scared. What if he found a way to get out, and he's somewhere around here, hiding, just waiting for the perfect moment to strangle me and take over my life? Never trick your reflection. I can almost swear, when it gets dark, I can hear my door creak open.
Sneeze me, man. Sneeze me. That fake door sound.
Comment for more stories.
No.
Have you guys heard of the Night Lady? This all started in Chihuahua, Mexico, 2009. Residents started noticing something really disturbing. You see, now some of the children in the area were going missing. I gotta grab some food for this one. Look at this beautiful roll. Now with all the children around the area going missing, people started reporting seeing a woman. They said she would climb on the rooftops during the day, only to wait till night to sneak in through the window to snatch children. Police then sketched an image of what they believed to be the Night Lady. Only one child has been reported of actually escaping the Night Lady. You see, his parents had ran into the room and caught her just in time. She quickly then escaped and crawled out of the window. Wait, before I continue, let's say the Night Lady had taken you. Your third act has to come and save you. Who is it? Let me know who it is. Anyways, the kid that got away recounted waking up in the middle of the night and seeing the Night Lady standing over top of him just watching him. People have brushed this off as just one big hoax until after midnight, a teenage girl had captured this photo. This is supposedly the Night Lady.
Something really scary happened to me. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I opened my Snapchat for the first time in a long time, and I saw that I had a new friend named Al. I don't know an Al. I haven't added an Al. I messaged Al and I said, who is this? And he said, hey, it's my Al. How are you doing? Off the bat, he has poor grammar. So I messaged him again. I said, how did you get my Snapchat? And he said, I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. You added me as a friend on Snapchat. Believe me when I say I did not add Al on Snapchat. I don't know an Al. I'm literally shaking thinking about this. So I said, no, I didn't. I didn't add you on Snapchat. And he said, I'm sorry, I must have been mistaken. Maybe we have mutual friends. And I said, you added me on Snapchat. You're a liar. And then he gaslights me, trying to make me think that I added him. I'm really lucky that I'm not stupid or gullible, or I could have fallen for his tricks. So I asked Al, I said, did you hack my Snapchat? And he said, no, I didn't hack your Snapchat account. If you're concerned about the security of your account, you can contact Snapchat support to report any suspicious activity. So I reported him. He's literally trying to manipulate me into trusting him. Then I go to block him, and I can't. I swear he hacked my Snapchat. Please tag Snapchat, we need to get to the bottom of this.
My friend went missing at the McDonald's play place. I was playing hide and seek with my new friend Tyler. It was my turn to find him, and when I finished counting down and started looking for him, he was nowhere to be seen. I could have swore I checked everywhere. When I went back into the restaurant, I also didn't see him there. At that point, I assumed that he went home, but then I saw his mom outside, looking worried. But for some odd reason, she refused to call the cops. McDonald's still did so. Nothing was found, and no one reported seeing him leave the store. That was the last time he was seen, 25 years later, and I just got a bachelor's in hospitality management. I had a job lined up for me already at no other than my childhood McDonald's location as a manager. A lot has changed. On my first week, I was taking care of some paperwork in the restaurant, when all of a sudden... What was that? When I looked to the direction of the sound, a shadow was staring at me. I guess I found him.
This is gonna scare you though. I don't know if
Do it. I love those stories.
This is a real story. So lately I've been feeling kind of not myself.
What?
Yeah. And you know I'm religious. I'm very religious. So I decided to go to church on a Wednesday.
Oh, okay. That's sick.
So I went to church and this is gonna sound scary to you, but
yeah.
When it came time for like communion, you know, when you get the bread, the Eucharist.
Yeah.
This is kind of fucked to say, but like I was walking toward the priest and I had this urge to laugh. Yeah, fam.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, like I had this urge to like burst out laughing. I was scared, right? I just kept praying and then, you know what I mean, locked it away like. Yeah. And then one night I had a dream. It was like I heard someone screaming. I was in the living room and I heard someone screaming for their life. They were like screaming like, get me out! Like screaming. This is exactly what I heard in my head. You're gonna get scared. Okay. This is exactly what I heard in my head.
Has your donkey ever spoken to you before? Because Balum in the Bible, his did. Oh, and
like who just got a donkey out of nowhere? Come on, man.
It's story time. Take a seat. Yo, Goliath, watch out for that rock, bro. I do not have a good feeling.
But I don't like his vids.
This story can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 22, verse 1 through 34.
No, it's
so the
not
king of Moab is scared, y'all, because the Israelites are out here doing the thing. They beating everybody, and they on his tail. So the king is all like, nah, they not just about to come over here and do us any kind of way. Where my BlackBerry at? Because we need to call Balum. Yeah, a prophet for hire.
Yeah, he's probably not going
into
no more videos.
Some of his people to Balaam because he wants him to put a curse on the Israelites.
No, because
he's scared. So the king's people go and find Balaam and they're like, hey, bro, we need to curse them because they are not playing. And Balaam is like, hey, bro, let me speak to God first because I can't just be out here cursing anybody I want to. So let me speak to the boss. So they stay the night with him and Balaam goes and seeks God. So later that night, God gets there and Balaam's all, God, can I curse these people? And God's all like, Balaam, you know you're not supposed to be cursing them. Those people are blessed. So Balaam's like, all right, heard you loud and clear. So everybody wakes up the next morning and Balaam's like, look, I can't do nothing. Matter of fact, God said I can't even go, so I can't help you. So they end up going back to the king of Moab and tell him, yeah, it's a no-go. He's not having it. But the king is so scared of the Israelites, all he does is send some higher ranking people over to Balaam again. So those same higher ranking people find him and they're like, look, bro, the king needs this done. He's terrified. Like, what we got to do? You can have anything you want. And Balaam is all like, look, man, I can't do it. Did you say anything? I want anything. So under these new circumstances, Balaam is all like, all right, let me talk to God again. Because, you know, maybe my connection was off. My Wi-Fi been acting up. So they stay the night with him again and he seeks God again. And he tells him, Lord, are you sure I can't curse these people? Because they got a lot of money over there. So then God says, you know what, bruh, just go. But he was angry with Balaam because he saw what was in his heart. So when Balaam begins his journey to Moab, an angel would appear 3 different times. And this angel is sworded up, by the way. Like, I'm not even playing. He getting ready to turn Balaam into a box combo from Raising Cane's. Now, mind you, Balum is riding his donkey, and the donkey can see this angel, and he's like, man, I don't want no smoke, bruh. So the first time the donkey saw the angel, it turned off the road and went into a field. So Balum beat the donkey to get it to go back onto the road. The second time the angel appeared, it was in a narrow path with walls on both sides. The donkey saw this and was like, look, I'm gonna press against the wall and try to scoot by this thing, and ends up crushing Balum's foot. So he beat the donkey again. The third and final time this angel appeared, it was in a narrow path where you couldn't even turn left or right. So the donkey still see this angel and it said, you know what, I'm just gonna lay down because I'm tired of this. Balum got so mad that he started to beat this donkey again with his staff. Then get this, the Bible says the Lord opened the donkey's mouth and he was all like, say fam, what you beating me for? Don't you see that angel in the way right there? I've been giving you rides all this time and you just gonna put your staff upside my head? What's wrong with you? Now at this point, if I'm Balum, I wouldn't know what in the world was going on. I'd be scared to death. He starts having a conversation with his donkey just...
I can't watch him. It's trash. Like, I don't mess with the story at all. Not creepy at all, man. Try again.
Good morning. What can I get for you today? Excuse me? What did you just say? I said, what can I get for you today? Don't rush me, nut hugger. Can't you see I'm in the middle of a discussion with my family? My apologies. Please, take your time. Thank you. Now, what does everyone want? Oh my god, I can't believe this woman. Every day is like this. Doesn't she have plenty of time to think about what she's going to get while she's waiting? Ugh, you just gotta have all the attention you can possibly get, can't you? I hope you rot in hell, you old hag. Hello? Anybody in there? I said I'm ready to order! Huh? Oh, my apologies, ma'am. What's your order? Alright, little boy. I'll take a grande iced... Well, would you look at that? I was right. You're getting the same exact thing you always get. And I can tell by the way your wrinkly, flabby old lips are flapping. And 2 extra shots of espresso. Did you get all that? It seemed like you weren't paying attention. Nope, I got all of it. Just give me a moment and I'll have it right out for you. You better make it right this time, boy. Don't make me throw my dentures at you. When do I ever make it wrong? I've been here dealing with you for years. You're just like all the other crazy people, a creature of habit. You'll never change until you drop dead. I guarantee it. Now, what was that other one again? Oh yeah. Here you go. I can tell this is wrong. Are you deaf, or were you just not listening to what I said? Ma'am, I can assure you that every drink was made to order. Would you at least try them before you criticize the way I do my job? Don't you dare give me an attitude, boy! I demand to see your manager right now!
This is why you should never read someone else's diary. Once there was a girl named Samantha who took her friends to her dad's lake house because her dad grew up in the area and actually named the lake after her, Lake Samantha. But as soon as her friends arrived, they noticed something strange. There was a doll hanging on every door in all the houses in town. Samantha explained it's because of a local urban legend. Years ago, a man escaped from an insane asylum nearby, unalived his entire family, then disappeared. Wow. Since then, people would go missing around the same time every year, so the dolls were used for protection. But after spending a day by the lake, Samantha and her friends found an old diary, half buried in the dirt near an abandoned house. They opened it up and saw multiple entries dating back to the 80s, but the most terrifying part was the last entry dated August 13, 2010. And it said, "I'm so proud of my daughter. She doesn't hear the voices and she has a lot of friends. Sometimes I take her to these woods. I even named the lake after her." That's when they all heard the sound of twigs snapping behind them, and when they turned around, they saw Samantha's father, saying, "You weren't supposed to find that. Follow for more."
3 pancakes. It's story time.
3 pancakes.
Take a seat. So yeah, guys, llamas are the way of the future. I'm telling you.
I'm so sick of
After a long night of patrolling, Officer Dan decided to stop at the first diner he came across to get a nice fat chunk of meatloaf. Okay. After a few minutes, he came across one that sat on the side of the road. There were only 2 cars in front, so it wasn't very busy. That was for sure. He parked his police car outside before casually walking into the small business. There was a man standing behind the front counter. A very angry, yet odd-looking man. There was a solid minute of silence before he grunted in a rude manner and then vanished behind the kitchen doors. "Well, I guess I'll seat myself," said Officer Dan, confused. He made his way over to an empty table in the corner, where he sat his head down and waited to be attended to. Moments later, a distressed-looking woman came out from the back with a pen and notepad. Her hair was a mess, and something seemed off, but Officer Dan paid it no mind and tried to be polite. He was not a rude person. He smiled at her as she asked him in a shaky voice, "What can I get for you, sir?" "Meatloaf with lots of sauce, mashed potatoes and gravy with an iced tea to drink, please." The woman simply wrote the order down without asking anything else. She then vanished from sight just as quickly as she arrived. Officer Dan found her odd, but he was more hungry than he was concerned about strange behavior at the moment. 10 minutes later, the woman arrived with a huge chunk of meatloaf, mashed potatoes and gravy, and an ice-cold tea. She said nothing setting down his meal. But this time, as she walked away, she didn't turn around. Instead, she backpedaled, giving Officer Dan a wide-eyed stare before stopping behind the counter and generically cleaning the area. This made him very uneasy, but the food...
I don't like his stories, bro. I'm just going to skip past them. Let's get another video. I'm not messing with the stories, though. I'm trying to give him a chance, but... Okay, this might be
Comment
better.
for more stories.
No, I don't want to.
I'm your problem now. It's story time. Take a seat. Someone tell my mom I'm gonna be late. Tommy was the worst bully in 5th grade. He was already 6 feet tall, 190 pounds.
Alright, this might be good.
This made terrorizing the other kids with wedgies, swirlies, wet willies effortless. As he came home from school one night, he opened his closet to get a fresh change of clothes, but he soon jumped back with fright. In the corner by his dirty laundry stood a miniature man with a devious grin. "Gross, who in the hell are you?" cried Tommy. "I'd be a lot nicer to others if I were you," the man replied. "Mom, some freak is hiding in my dirty clothes," Tommy yelled. His mother quickly rushed up the stairs and stood in the doorway, examining the closet closely.
What is these pictures?
"Tommy, have you ever heard of the story of the boy that cried wolf? Nobody's there," she said. His mom just shook her head and left annoyed. Impossible, Tommy thought. She looked right at him. Tommy simply stared at the small man confused as he said to him, "I'm your problem now." But all he did was close his closet door and try to forget what had just happened. The next day, Tommy stole over $200 worth of lunch money from kids around the school. He came home smiling and laughing, ready to buy as much candy as he wanted with his hard-earned cash. But when he opened his closet to change his clothes that day, the man was there, standing by the dirty clothes again. He looked angry. The man began to say, "I thought I told you to..." But Tommy had ignored the man. He grabbed a jersey off a hanger and closed it as fast as he could. The next day at school, Tommy was even worse than before. He called everybody he saw ugly that day, gave out 16 wedgies, stole over $300 in lunch money, and mooned the teacher at the end of the day. When he got home from school later on, it was dark in his house. He opened his pantry. "Mom, are you here?" But no one answered. He checked the restroom. "Anybody home?" Tommy shouted. Again, nobody answered. It was then he decided to make his way up to his bedroom. He heard a soft sobbing coming from his closet. He briefly remembered the small man's warning, and it made him scared. But he quickly gathered himself and said, "Psh, I'm the biggest bully in town. What's gonna hurt me in here?" He marched over to his closet and swung it open. He slowly looked over towards the pile of clothes where the man usually stood, when he noticed something. It was his mom, crouched in the corner. "Mom, what are you doing in my closet? And why is it so dark in here?" he said, confused. His mother looked up and said, "Tommy, he's on the ceiling. Get in here now." Puzzled, Tommy started to look up to see what his mother was talking about. Just
3 years ago, a video was uploaded to TikTok with a caption that simply read, "Do you see it?" This video was taken from a home that sits across from an abandoned church, and the woman who uploaded it said that one day she noticed a man pacing back and forth just a few feet away from the church's parking lot. At first she thought nothing of it, but what she didn't know was that for the next several weeks of her life, this simple curiosity would turn into an all-consuming obsession. After a few hours of this man pacing back and forth, her and her husband definitely thought it was odd, but when they saw him the next day, they actually became concerned, thinking it could have been a senior citizen who was lost and confused. So they went to go see if the man needed help, and as they came up on the site, this is when things began to turn from an innocent curiosity into something that would keep them up for nights. In her videos, the woman claimed that the first time they approached the pacing man, he was suddenly nowhere to be seen, and every time since then, when they try to approach, the same thing happens.
Is anybody there? I'm so nervous.
Do they live in the woods or their house?
Do you need help?
Why y'all messing with him, man? Like, leave him alone.
You can see the full clips along with 4 other equally terrifying videos on my latest YouTube video titled The Pacing Man.
2 friends are goofing off inside a house when they capture something pretty creepy on camera. One of the friends appears to be doing an online challenge, while the other records him doing it. However, what happens moments later leaves them both terrified. Watch.
Right, do it again because I'm filming this time. No, go on. Right, yeah. How many you got left?
There's only 2 left, so it's...
Right, well, yeah, just do 2 then.
Yeah, this is, we're gonna eat some McDonald's and then drink, well, it's not Diet Coke, it's Pepsi Max, but there's only 2, so
it's fizzy, it should work.
What is he doing? I don't look safe.
Working?
No.
You should go on, give it a bit. Give it a bit. What's it?
No. What? What's up?
Dude.
What?
Dude!
What?
Look!
What?
Look! Look, let me out.
A rattling sound can be heard inside the other room before the door opens and things fall on their own. Not much else is known about the video, so it's hard to be sure if it's real or not. But regardless, the reaction appears to be genuine. Had they captured something paranormal or not?
What is one of the creepiest things a kid has ever said to you? I'll go first. When my daughter was almost 3 years old, she told me and my godmother a story. We were at my godmother's house and we were working on a Halloween/birthday costume for my daughter. We're taking her measurements and cutting fabric, and she randomly looks at us and she asks us where her mom is. I tell her, "You're being crazy. Like, I'm your mama. What are you talking about?" Thought maybe she was confused because I call my mom, so maybe she's looking for her.
I've seen this already. I don't wanna get into this. I've already seen that.
This video just sped off a whole bunch of random information, and then it completely shut off after that. She's 9 now, and she has no recollection of any of this.
For some reason, I keep thinking about Atlantis. Don't watch this video if you're not open-minded. A lot of people are saying we are in Atlantis, and this is the old world.
The civilization of Atlantis existed for thousands of years, and it was the entire world. It was not just an island out there.
Which makes sense because there are pyramids that are all over the world that align with the same star system. Giza, Mexico, China. I'm a strong believer that there are portals around this planet, and they knew how to use them to build these pyramids. That's why so many around the world. I'm pretty sure y'all saw this video.
But nobody go through it. Did you know that you could walk through the Grand Canyon, and if you keep walking through the Grand Canyon, your ass will end up in Africa, nigga?
There are Egyptian relics, hieroglyphics, artifacts, mummies in America because they were here. You ever wonder why it was so important for them to suppress this information for a century? Pyramids in Antarctica, Illinois. There are places in America that is restricted. The Hoover Dam, and we know the Grand Canyon and plenty of more spaces. The largest pyramid to ever be built is in America. The Atlanteans understood the energy of this planet and they knew how to manipulate it. Notice that there are weird levels of energy, like the Bermuda Triangle that makes things disappear. I told you they restrict off these high-level energetic places. I find it funny that one of the Egyptian gods has the head of an animal that's native to America, the ibis. Rashad Jamal also goes to say that the 33rd parallel was the capital of Atlantis, which is in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's called Atlanta. And it's on the 33rd parallel, which is one of the most powerful veins on the planet because this was the capital of our realm, Atlantis. Our capital stretched, nigga. It was all of Georgia, all of Florida.
Can't stretch this enough, do your own research. I feel though that America is the old world. Now watch this. It is said that Atlantis went down in a flood. In America, it shows water erosion in the Grand Canyon.
We're underneath the water. That means that this place was underneath water. The Great Flood. The rocks are red. When the water oxygenates the sediments, they turn red.
Now I need you to watch this.
Whenever Atlantis went down, a lot of them, some of them went to Egypt, the survivors, and some of them went to Egypt.
I'm sorry, I just need to hear it one more time.
Some of them went to Egypt, the survivors, and to other places.
Y'all do what y'all want. I'm just connecting my thoughts. Notice how she says they went to Egypt and they had powers to build such monuments.
Stone. This is where the pyramids and everything were developed later were by the survivors of Atlantis who still carried the knowledge of how this was done.
Put 2 and 2 together yourself and y'all have a good day. Just so you know, these blinds been closed. Stay dangerous, y'all. Now that you over here on YouTube, I find it very funny that there are people that are claiming they're the descendants of ancient Egyptians.
This is what the ancient Egyptians would actually look like. Dark-skinned, olive-toned, like myself.
So hey, if the Atlanteans was the descendants of the pyramid builders, y'all stay dangerous. For some reason, I keep thinking about Atlantis. Don't watch this video if you're not open-minded. A lot of people are saying...
y'all.
Her room every October 10th of the year. Why?
Olive-toned, like myself.
So hey, if y'all stay dangerous.
There was a girl who couldn't leave her room every October 10th of the year. Why October 10th? And this is why. So the mom, whenever the date came, she would mark it on the calendar. She would circle it, she would highlight it, make sure that her kid was in her room with no windows and stuff. Yeah. Right? She never told her kid why. And whenever she had school on that day, or if she had to do something else that day, she's like, nope, you're not allowed to leave the house. So every year on October 10th, they would lock themselves in a room with no windows, right? Every year, fam, you would hear someone ring the doorbell on the house. But the mom obviously is with the child. So she's like, no, we're staying in this room, right? She told her kid, like, please do not ever do this. And as soon as midnight hits and October 11th comes, the knocking, the ringing of the doorbell disappears. Well, why that day? Like, what? It's building up. So one day, her mom had to go on like a work trip. Yeah. And the kid already knew, October 10th, I'm gonna lock myself in that room and not do anything. She knows the drill. She knows the drill already.
We're here at Spirits
checking out all the animations. And that is Attack, Killer Clowns. Let's check out The Witch. Oh, she broke her neck. What the heck? Look at that. The sound effects are great. And then we have Mars Attacks over here. And he just kind of moves his head side to side. If you've never seen that movie, it was from the 90s, had Jack Nicholson in it. Directed by Tim Burton. Very, very funny. And then over here we have a clown. Let's check out what he does. He talks. And if you look at the balloon.
Step right up. Step right up. And get your balloons here.
Yeah.
Only 10 cents. And what's the day?
And then inside here, we have this scarecrow. And we have this like killer clown right here with 2 knives. He's kind of laughing. Oh, he pops up for a little scare.
Religion is masculine. This is why they tell you that God is a man. Because masculine mind, man, it actually blocks you from your heart.
That last one would have got me.
Spirituality is about saying, forget about everything that I learned. Forget about whatever anybody told me. I want to know the truth. The truth about myself, the truth about life, the truth about God. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to learn that truth. Spirituality is about aligning your mind, your heart, your soul, your body, and cleansing and clearing anything that's stopping you from fully self-actualizing, from you having a direct connection with Source, from you feeling healing energy and love with Source that unlocks and heals your 7 chakras, and most importantly, unlocks your own spiritual gifts.
Ryan Carr, a haunted house fanatic, got more than he bargained for when he and his girlfriend, Sarah Lelinek, visited the Akron Fright Fest in Ohio. While making their way through the terrifying rooms, a tall man who looked like Leatherface emerged from the shadows, grabbed Ryan, forcefully shoved him onto a plywood bed, and began to simulate a mock. Sarah begged for him to stop, but her demands fell on deaf ears as the masked man continued to vigorously thrust away while stating, "He's not your boyfriend anymore. He's mine." Eventually, the masked seducer freed Ryan, leaving him sore and feeling less of a man. The couple immediately left the premises, but the experience stayed with them. The following day, he took to social media, warning others not to go to the attraction. The park fired back, claiming that their haunted houses are all professional, safe, and in a controlled environment. They did later, however, report that the employee responsible for the incident was let go.
Being at the bottom of the ocean or being up in space?
Up in space is more surreal. Yeah, because the floating, the earth out the window, the views are better. But being down there was pretty wild too. I remember once we were doing this experiment where I had my crewmate and I had an ultrasound. And we're doing this telemedicine experiment. So there were these docs in Houston looking at the screen, but there's a delay. And I'm supposed to find her kidney. I'm like searching around for a kidney. And then I look up and I look out the window and I see a 6-foot hammerhead shark right out the window. Wow. And we have a guy in the water. And I dropped a giant F-bomb, like, you know, and all the docs in Houston are freaking out. They're thinking, like, in a moment they're gonna see her liver explode on the screen or something. And they're like, what's that? How's the patient? How's the patient? I'm like, patient's fine. Got a 6-foot hammerhead out the window.
Yeah, that's got to be really weird, right? You're in that thing, in their world. For how long? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So is that the weirdest animal that you saw, is the hammerhead?
The scariest thing I saw was one night I was taking a dump. This is a true story. The way you do this, okay, number one, you just pee in the pool, okay? But if you have to go number 2, you go into the pool, because you don't want a floater in your pool, right? That's, of course, like Caddyshack. You don't want that.
Right.
What you do is you don't take a tank. You just take your mask and your fins. And you go down
naked.
You can. We had a mixed gender crew, so I wore some trunks, but you know. And then you just go down, and you have to swim. I don't know. It's like maybe 10, 15 feet. It's not that far. And there's what we call the gazebo, which is just a little dome that has air inside. Now you're out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, like with no tank, and you're 60 feet down. It's night. You can't see a thing. You're alone in the ocean. But you can see this little gazebo. You swim to that, you pop in, and then you got air, just some valves, you let in some fresh air, and then you hold on, and you take off your trunks, and you just let it rip. But the problem is the fish get accustomed to this.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So they go there knowing that you're going to poop.
As soon as you drop in the water at night, it's like the dinner bell going off. And there's like school. Yeah, because this is feeding time.
Whoa. And so you feel them like pecking at the back door?
The worst are the angelfish, because that shape, they can get like right up in there.
Oh,
it's like not cool.
Boy.
So you take your fin off and you're like whacking them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How things actually work. How to make paper.
That is not how you make paper. Or is it? Let me see. Gotta do all that just to make some paper. That's just doing too much at that point. Look at all the work you gotta go. That's crazy. He actually made some paper though. Where did he learn that?
If someone is treating you as if you're nobody, the best response is to become nothing in their lives. Just leave and keep moving forward.
How many of y'all going to like a haunted house or trick or treating?
I'll crush your neck and bury you in the pits of hell.
You think it's natural to open up your door and to hear honks, horns, cars, and to smell emissions? That shit ain't natural. You think it's natural to open up your door and look and it's 2 trees within a 5-block radius? That's not natural. You think it's natural to walk on concrete all day? You scared to even take your shoes off. You've been taught taking your shoes off is dusty, it's savage, it's primitive.
And of course we didn't evolve to wear shoes, and especially we didn't evolve to wear Christian shoes. And so one of the interesting questions that this research raises is, we need to understand more what that consequence is for joint damage.
You have been disassociated with your body. You have been disassociated with your health. You have been disassociated with...
Excuse the videos that wasn't like creepy and I had to skip through them. I will be making sure I get better creepy ones, because y'all know the Halloween coming up soon, so I'm gonna try to keep it more creepy. But let's finish this.
Spirituality, you have been disassociated with your language, you have been disassociated with your land, you have been disassociated with your customs, you have been disassociated with your traditions. But they got disease right now. I mean, we really gotta make this make sense.
The following photo was submitted by Tona Putra, who writes, "There was a family in Indonesia who went to a cemetery to commemorate members of their family who have died. The family was at the cemetery for almost the entire day. During the evening time, before leaving the cemetery, they were taking a lot of photos. Most of them were just random, but when they got home, they noticed that one photo had caught something in it that was strange. The following is the picture the family had taken.
Oh. Snap.
According to Tono, the family had no clue as to who this person was. They were the only ones there and were sure that whoever or whatever this was not one of them.
Like a little creature or something.
Now, because this photo was taken at a cemetery, Tono believes that an entity was caught in the photograph. The family also thinks that something supernatural was caught in the photo. They believe that this may have been the ghost of a child whose own gravesite is at the cemetery. Although it's not clear as to who, or maybe even what this might have been, the picture has left them spooked. If the family had been the only ones there, then who was this?
There is a good chance that these people are not getting on planes and that they're actually going underground. This is very, very scary.
This is ridiculous, son.
Oh, okay. That is it, man. Excuse that. That was just paper towels. Is that a cookie? Oh, yeah, that's a little cookie right there. But man, y'all already look. I'm gonna try to find better creepy clips, cause y'all know Halloween is coming up. I'm trying to keep it more creepy than more stimulating the brain type of videos. But hey, man, that was a decent vid. Can't even lie, it was kind of decent. Kind of alright. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
What? Bitch, I'm a god, cause nigga, I'm back. Fuck the Matrix, this